Hi y'all, I hope everyone's doing as well as can be. Today I am just doing like a day in the life. I have a MALS test, median accurate ligament syndrome, I think is what it stands for. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a celiac ultrasound. My POT specialist, one of my POT specialists, think that I could have MALS because I have a lot of the symptoms. For years I've had trouble gaining weight because eating is really hard. I'm nauseous like 24/7. Have stomach pains all the time, cramps, gas, bloating, vomiting sometimes. So the good news is, though, it's gotten a little bit better. I have put on some weight, and for the first time in like 6 years or 5 years, I weigh over 100 pounds, just over 100 pounds, and I'm like so stoked about it. Anytime I gain weight, I end up losing it again. So hopefully I don't lose the weight again. Hopefully it stays on, and I hope I don't have MALS because I already have something called May-Thurner syndrome, which is very similar to MALS. It's where a vein in your like stomach area, like here, compresses up against your iliac artery, or I think it's the iliac artery compresses up against the iliac vein, or vice versa. I'm not sure which way it is. Either way, it ends up compressing your blood, like your arteries and veins, so that your blood flow is not as good if you have this. So I recently found out that I have this from a abdominal CT scan that I had done in the hospital when I had a bad stomach flare-up, and I had to stay in the hospital for a few days. They did a stomach CT scan, and interestingly enough, they told me in the hospital that it was normal, but it actually wasn't. I had my venous surgeon that placed my port. He saw the x-ray, the CT scan, and he was like, you actually have May-Thurner syndrome, which is very common with people who have POTS, as well as people who have gastroparesis and like pelvic issues, migraines. He said it's all connected to the May-Thurner syndrome, and I've had all those symptoms like all my life. I've had migraines since I was 4. So it was pretty exciting to find it, even though it's not a good thing. But the reason being is surgery may help, and oftentimes it improves like POTS and all these other conditions that are related to the May-Thurner syndrome. So my surgeon talked about putting a stent in me to open up my artery so the blood could flow more, or the vein. So that is put on hold for now because I've been really sick. I just had sepsis last month, and I'm trying to get stronger, and I'm now unfortunately flared up. And I still have a blood clot as well in my chest. So between all these things going on right now, my care team decided it's not a good time to have surgery. That is something that I'm going to definitely do when the right time comes. So hopefully the stent will help my blood flow and will help some of my symptoms. The surgeon said he doesn't really know how bad it is until he gets in there. So yeah, today I'm having a celiac ultrasound at my POT specialist. I am going to do that celiac ultrasound and then probably blood work like usual. They're going to test my potassium because I've been on oral potassium for I think 2 weeks now because my levels were really low, and they wanted me to try oral potassium. Prescribed potassium is what I'm on. I've been on prescribed potassium for 2 weeks, like as well as eating more potassium in my diet before we try like IV potassium. We're hoping this will help and I won't need IV potassium. If I do need IV potassium, they're just going to add it to my IV fluids that I get every day anyway through my port, or I have a PICC line now since my port got infected and clotted. So yeah, if that's the case, then I guess they'll just add it in and it won't be too much of a big deal. But I know low potassium and high potassium causes a lot of symptoms, specifically heart related. And I've been having more like PVCs and like palpitations, and my bisoprolol helps that, but it's still like lately it hasn't been helping as much. I'm still having a lot of palpitations. I don't know if that's related to the potassium or the POTS, or I don't know what that is. I don't think I explained it properly. So MALS is where your median accurate ligament compresses up against your celiac artery in your stomach. And your celiac artery delivers blood to important organs like your stomach, your liver, as well as your nerves. So this causes serious problems, obviously, and it's common in POTS. And I think that's the main reason between my symptoms and the fact that I've had a long history of POTS. That's why my cardiologist, my POTS specialist, wants me to take this test just to hopefully rule it out. Because I have enough diagnoses as it is. I do not need one more. So yeah, I have a bunch of tests this week. I have the MALS test today, the celiac ultrasound. Tomorrow is I have a bone density scan, and then Monday I have a follow-up ultrasound for my blood clot. And of course there's blood tests all the time. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of tests this week. So I am wearing jeans for the first time in ages. I live in leggings because they're just more comfortable than jeans. And so I literally haven't worn jeans in like just forever. I can't remember the last time I wore jeans. But these are really comfortable because they're a size too big. So they're like really roomy. As you can see, they're 25s and I'm normally a 24. So I guess that's why they're more comfortable. Otherwise, if they were like normal fitting, I wouldn't do it. Maybe today, just because I'm not as bloated as I usually am. I'm usually pretty bloated, but like I said, this is for me, so in case I get bloated later. And I'm wearing a super comfy sweater. It's fuzzy and it's like a crop sweater. It's hard to tell because these are like mid-rise. I have to sit down. Anne, my cat is my chair. Oh, Anne, this is my chair, sweetie. So yeah, I just wanted to show you my outfit of the day. I'm super comfy even though I'm in jeans, and yeah, I'll probably wear these with flip-flops because even though it's November, it's like in the late 60s today or mid 60s, so I think I can get away with wearing flip-flops. We'll see. You guys, I'm getting nervous because my caregiver left and right now I'm by myself and I need help with my getting my infusion going because I'll show you in a second. All the IVs, like literally all my IVs, a bunch of them are all in the delivery boxes because we've been slacking on opening them. They're super hard to open, these boxes. Like they make them really hard because it's like medicine, like medical supplies. So I understand it, but it's just a pain in the butt to open. And so I have to wait until Lawson gets here to open this box of my IVs. And then we're gonna have to like really quickly set up my IV and then go because I'm already running late. My appointment's at 3 and it's like passing 2:30 and it's, yeah, there's no way we're gonna make it on time. There's no way. I hope they'll still take me because I can't leave without my IV because I'll just pass out or I'll be too weak to make it. And my recovery time will be harder and I'll have more symptoms. You know, it's just, I don't do well without my IV fluids, you know, which is why I get them every day. And I'm not stable even hardly with them, so especially now that I'm flared up, my heart symptoms and pot symptoms and shortness of breath, it's been really bad lately. Congestion, just like allergy and asthma symptoms, which are all part of the mycotoxin disease and the mast cell activation. So I'm kind of just like talking to you guys right now to kill time, but also to distract myself because I'm getting anxious that I'm going to be late. This appointment it's always really long, like 5 hours or so, at least 3 hours. And if I reschedule, it's going to take me forever to get another appointment because they're so busy, which is why it always takes so long because of waiting, because of, you know, just they're crazy busy. There needs to be more POTS doctors out there. Like seriously, there's a serious need for more POTS specialists. There are millions of people suffering from POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. more so than even multiple sclerosis, yet hardly anyone even knows about this. And it's a devastating illness. That's all I can say. My arm right now is shaking. I'm so weak. So I'm gonna see you guys later, and hopefully my ride will be here soon. But real quick, just to finish what I was saying, there needs to be more specialists because there are hardly any. In this clinic, this POTS clinic, there are people who come from all over the country to see my POTS specialist because he's so amazing and he's one of the few in the country. There are hardly any. Many cardiologists know about it, but they're not specialists in it. You know, I have another cardiologist who's been treating me for years, who's awesome. I love him, but he's just not really familiar with POTS enough to treat me in the proper way and run the proper tests and just all that stuff. So there needs to be more awareness and more POTS specialists, more cardiologists and neurologists studying autonomic neuropathy and autonomic dysfunction like POTS, because it's a serious thing. So my ride's here. See you later. Pretty. You can't tell the color on the camera as much, how vibrant they are.
Trying to double tap so it refocuses on them.
Oh, it worked for like a second. But yeah, they're so beautiful. I love it. Love. It's amazing how you appreciate so much more when you don't get out of the house and when you're sick.
What?
Pretty epic, the heaty seaty.
Oh.
So Lawson got this heating pad. I don't know if you could see. This heating pad for the seat from Ross. I have to sit back. My back is killing me. And it's perfect because my back has been flared up and it feels so good. Oh,
Is it working?
It's working, and it's like the perfect heat, and I love it because it helps a lot. Anytime I'm out, I'm like, oh, my back. I didn't know these things existed. I thought like you either have heated seats in your car or not. I didn't know you could like buy one that fit your seat, but I should have figured.
I mean, it's taking up battery, but you know.
It smells so good in here. Where's the air freshener?
Right there.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, it looks like cat food. That?
Yeah.
I swear, I thought that was like pet food or something. I should have known.
It's really strong.
Ooh, yeah, but it smells like strawberry, which is just the best in the world. Best scent. One of the best scents anyway. That's cool. Is that from Mom's?
No, it's just from Carl's.
Oh. I like it. I like that it's organic.
The beans.
Wow, yeah, I
bladder.
see now. Should have known. Kidneys, bladder. What's above the kidneys up there?
Adrenal gland.
Oh,
Has
the
two
adrenal
cups.
glands.
Two
Okay,
cups,
yeah. POTS affects all of that. Hospital for my bone density scan this morning. It was really hard to wake up. Oh my goodness. I passed out at 7 p.m. last night after my appointment. I was so tired. And then having to wake up at 7 in the morning, it's been rough. But I made it, and I just had the scan. It went well. It was pretty quick and painless. I'm wearing my mask, by the way, because I am immunocompromised and it's flu and cold season, so I have to take extra precautions. Can't take a chance of getting sick because I wouldn't be able to fight off any viruses, you know, my immune system being so weak as it is. So yeah, I had my scan, and thankfully I can go home and rest for the weekend before I come back to the hospital Monday for my ultrasound.
She precious.
Just look at her.
Just look at her.
Just look at her. Oh,
Just look at her.
Just look at her.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Just look at her.
Just look at her.
Just look at her.
Oh my goodness.
Would you just look at her?
So, guys, check out this cereal. This Neapolitan puff cereal from Trader Joe's is really good, and it's chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla flavors. It's gluten-free, and of course, it's vegan. I'll show you the ingredients. It's cool because it's made from beans. Hey, 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 hey. I was showing them the ingredients. It's made of like bean powder, like garbanzo bean powder. Like so loud. Garbanzo bean powder,
there's the ingredients.
navy bean powder, brown rice flour, pinto bean powder. There's 3 different types of beans.
Rice protein.
Rice protein, sunflower lecithin, and natural flavors, carrot juice powder. This is like a pretty kind of healthy cereal, if I can even dare to say it. A cereal is healthy. It's not bad anymore. 6 grams of protein is pretty awesome though for a cup of cereal. I definitely have at least 2 cups in my bowl. So I wasn't able to wrap up the vlog last night because or the night before last night now. The night after my ultrasound because I crashed at 7:30. It's just so exhausted. I literally could not stay awake for the life of me. So, and then the next morning, yesterday morning, I had my bone density scan. Thankfully, I was able to get up it was at like 8, so I had to get up at 7 in the morning. If I hadn't slept at 7 p.m. the night before and had my fluids, IV fluids, I would not have been able to make it. Thankfully, Lawson had helped me set up my IV fluids the day before going to the ultrasound, and we actually made it on time. So I had my IV fluids, and that helps a lot with my recovery. Because otherwise, there was no way I'd be able to make it to back-to-back appointments like yesterday and then again today, or 2 days in a row, Thursday and Friday, for the ultrasound and then for my bone density scan. Thankfully, the bone density scan was really quick. It went well. It was about maybe 10 minutes total. They scanned my left hip and my lower back. I don't have the results yet. I'm gonna get them from my rheumatologist, so hopefully soon he'll be in touch with me about that. The ultrasound went well. The celiac ultrasound, it was really quick. That I'm gonna be getting the results from the doctor next week. So don't really know anything about that as of now. I don't really have any of the results yet. So I also had all the blood work done to check my potassium and, the routine stuff to check all, antibodies and like how my immune system's doing and like all this other stuff related to POTS. It was funny, she asked me like if I would stop my fluids so she could draw blood from my PICC line, and I was like, you know what? That just takes too much energy I don't have. Just stab me. She was like, really? You'd rather be stabbed? I was like, yeah. So she ended up getting me from my hand, which is the only accessible place I have peripherally. It's a hard word. Just rather have her do my vein rather than through my central line, but it honestly would have been like harder to just stop my fluids and then reconnect there in the doctor's office. It only took a couple of stabs, like 2 or 3, and she got some blood, so that went well. And like I said, I'm getting the results of that along with my ultrasound results next week when I see the POT specialist again. My arm is killing me, so I keep having to take breaks. I might have to take another break here in a minute. My IV was beeping all night, which is why the night before last night, which is why after I got back from the hospital for my bone scan, I like slept the rest of the day, because even though I had fallen asleep at 7 the night before, I just had to keep waking up for my IV beeping over and over again. It was just a pain in the butt. It kept saying like down occlusion, and I couldn't figure out why, and no matter what I did, it just kept beeping at me. So eventually I just stopped my fluids and I flushed myself with some sodium chloride. And after I gave myself the sodium chloride through my PICC, I hooked up again and everything went well. It stopped beeping at me. So I don't know why that happens, but this is like the second time this week that's happened. And it's also been tight to like flush to push anything through my PICC. It's been hard like to push it through, which makes me nervous that I'm having more blood clots or an issue with my PICC line. So let's cross the fingers and I hope not. I already had enough issues with central lines with my port getting infected last month and getting sepsis, so I don't need any more of that. I'm super tired, so I am just gonna rest and go to sleep shortly. It's probably almost 6, but I have a feeling it's gonna be one of those weekends where I just crash super early and just sleep throughout the weekend. On Monday, I have another ultrasound for my blood clot. Follow-up ultrasound to see what's going on with that. Hopefully I'm clearing the blood clot and it's getting better. But yeah, I'm just gonna get as much rest as I can until then, and I will see you next time. I love you all to pieces. Please give this vlog a like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. I will see you guys next time.